Hi, it's Sandy from s.ranellearts, and I'm on day 4 of the nature series for the World Watercolor group. And today's prompt is wild animals. And so I sketched out an elephant, and we're going to paint this elephant, and the plan is to be loose and quick. So let's get started. I'm using a flat brush. This is a 3/4 Winsor & Newton. I will put all the materials in the description below. I keep saying that I will do that and I always forget to do it because I'm so new to this, but I will promise this time that I will do it because I want to go fast, and so I don't want to take the time to hold up everything in front of the camera. So what I'm doing is just taking my clear water, and I'm going to actually do a background on this one, or at least that's the plan. We'll see how that turns out. So I've got some water. I'm on my B paper, 100% cotton, 140-pound cold press watercolor paper. There's a cat hair. This is the story of my life. I have a long-haired cat, and he does not hesitate to share his hair. All right, I'm going to put in a little Cobalt Azure. I'm using my Schmincke palette. This is the I always say that, Marilyn Garber Botanicals limited edition set that I reviewed in one of my videos. And I'm going to use the Cobalt Azure, and I'm just going to give this a light sky. This is all about the elephant. However, let's see what happens. So I just come in, paper towel, and pull out some clouds. That's okay. Let me move this aside. Here's my reference photo. It's from Where's My Elephant? High-Tech Collars Track Wildlife in Real Time from the Scientific American. All right. Next thing I want to do is this bottom. This is the field that this elephant is walking in, and so I'm using a little bit of my lemon yellow with, well, actually that's Indian yellow. Now that I think about that, that's Indian yellow, and it has picked up a little bit of the Cobalt Azure, so it's a little bit on the green side. I just don't want it too yellow. Looks like he's walking in it. It's the color of hay. It's grass or field, but so I don't want it to be too yellow. That feels a little yellow to me. So come over here and take a tiny touch of my Brilliant Blue Violet. I'm just taking it from the corner of the brush, and that actually mellows that out nicely. So we'll put that in and takes away some of the yellow. So that's just with the corner of my little flat brush, I grab a little Brilliant Blue Violet and get a little bit more brown in here. There's a little bit of watercolor from a previous painting in the corner, but since this was about the elephant, I figured that didn't matter. All right, we get that laid in. I might speed through this. This appears to have a bluish hill area here, or mountains or something, so I'll go in there and lay that in. That's just the Cobalt, and it's the same color as the sky, so I might come back and, well, it actually looks a little yellow, more yellow. I might come back and after that dries and put in a little bit more color just to get that darker than the sky. And in the meantime, I put a little in there too. I don't know where this elephant is. It's an African elephant, so I'm going to take a shot in the dark and say he's in Africa. All right, it's time to get this elephant going. So my basis for this is going to be lemon yellow for part of it, and hopefully you can see I'm using my ceramic palette because I want big washes, and so my Schmincke colors, but I'm using them on the ceramic palette. So I'm putting the lemon yellow down And then I'm coming over and getting a little bit of this brilliant blue violet. And when I add that, that gives me a nice gray that in my mind looks like what an elephant would, the colors of an elephant. So I'll lay that in first. And actually I'm going to switch brushes. This is my no name, no size. I really need to do some research on that, but I kind of love this brush and use it a lot. So if you don't care, I don't care. You can just see it's not that pointy of a round, and I'd say, whoops, 10 or 12. Well, lovely. Okay, who's a klutz? All right, there we go. I added a little more blue, brilliant blue violet, just to gray it up a little bit more. And I want nice big swatches here. I'm avoiding the tusks. And oh, one thing I forgot to do is between the legs, there is some of that. In fact, let me do that now or I will mess everything up. So I'm coming back with my flat brush, and right between the elephant's two sides of legs, I am putting in some of that hay color. And it does look very yellow, so I'll come back and add something to that after that dries. All right, back to my elephant. He is going to be quick. There. All right, now while everything's fairly wet, I'm going to go back. I'm getting my Indian yellow. The same thing, that brilliant blue. And now I want a little bit more brown, not so much gray. So I think I'm going to take this and come over to my gray and gray it up a little bit. It's a little brown. And then I'm going to go to parts of the elephant that have shadow and have wrinkles and add some of this and let this bloom, because that's the effect I really want with this guy. So I'm coming in, he's still wet, and he has all these great wrinkles around his ears and of course on his trunk. This is a little wetter than I think it should be, so I'm coming in and get a little bit more of each of the colors. And let's see if I can gray that. I think I need a little more of the brilliant blue. There we go. And I want some wrinkles on his trunk. Just some nice broad. It might be a little too wet. I think I'm working a little too wet here. So I'm going to try to take that off and then go and get this a little bit, not only grayer by adding more of the brilliant blue, but also a little less water, a little more pigment. I really wanted some lines here, and I wasn't getting it. I think I'll use that inside his trunk. That's a little darker, and maybe on his little nails here. Okay, now there are a few areas. I'll take this darker color. There are a few areas that need some shadow, and everything hopefully is at the same amount of wetness. So now this did bleed into the sky. I don't mind that much, but I was hoping not to have so much of that. So I used way too much water on that one, on that piece right there, and didn't realize it at the time. All right, this has a little bit of a purple tint to it, but it actually is not bad. It's fine. So coming around his ears, there are all these wrinkles and folds, and just really cool textures there. He's got texture here. You know, he's all wrinkly like an elephant. All right, one thing I didn't think about is that this paper, I probably should have taped it down because it began to curl. So one of the things I did while I was blow drying it was curling. I just turned it over when it was near dry, and don't look at these are blueberries from the last failed attempt I had at fruit. And but I blow dried the back of it, and that helped straighten it out. So I didn't think about the fact that I needed to either work on a block or tape this down when I did the background. So that is something that I would fix. All right, this is nice and dry. I'm going to give him a little bit more character. And this is just me winging it. I don't really have a plan here. And then I'm going to put in some details and call it good. Actually, I think before I turn on the dryer, I'm going to do a little bit of splattering. So I'm getting the brown of the elephant, and I'm on my brush coming over, and I'm going to I tend to do the spots where the color should be. So since he's down here, I am putting that there. Then I'm going to come back and get some blue. So that's the Cobalt Azure. Nice and watery and loose. Actually, wouldn't mind a little bit darker. And then that one, let me turn my paper a little bit. I haven't even put his little eye in. It's coming out where his eye should be, but that's okay. I'm going to overlap him a little bit and let him run. And then here where it looks like I made this big mistake, if I splatter, you can't even tell. All right. All right, I think I'll use my Silverwhite 0 round. I believe I put it as silver in a description on a previous video, so I probably need to go back and edit that, but I can't even remember which one. All right, I'm taking the Brilliant Blue Violet, and I want to make it black. So I'm going to go, I think I'll take some of my Indian Yellow and then some Cobalt Azure. If I put all these colors together, I should get a nice dark color. Again, purple's just sort of taking over. That's what I get for using the Brilliant Blue Violet. It has violet in the name. That's all right though, it works. We'll start with that. I might have to do 2 layers. So I'm coming over here with the eye, and I've just got a little eye drawn in, and add that little one there. They have remarkably small eyes for such a large animal. And the first eyes that I drew were too big, and it looked funny, but it felt like it needed a bigger eye. All right, here I'm coming back and I am getting some lemon yellow, some Indian yellow, and I think I'll just grab some of this brown that I've used. That's a lot. I think I want it probably a little more brown than yellow. And I'm going to come over and I have my number 8 Grumbacher, and I'm just going to add just a little bit of grass in almost the same color that I'm using. He is stepping in grass, so I'm going to add just a little bit with the point. I almost think before I begin something so detailed, let me get it a little more yellow. And I just put some clumps in here. I'm using the side of the brush, and I'm just going to go up in this area. I think he's done. All right, there it is. A couple areas are wet, but I think that's it. Short and sweet. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and share.